Every crime scene holds a story, told not in words but in the silent language of physical evidence. Each object, each trace, is a potential chapter in a narrative waiting to be uncovered. A single strand of hair, a faint fingerprint, or a microscopic fleck of paint. These are the silent witnesses. They may seem insignificant, but in the world of forensics, even the tiniest clue can be the key to unlocking the truth. They cannot lie or forget, and my job is to listen to what they reveal. Each piece of evidence has a story to tell, if only we know how to interpret its message. The truth is often hidden in plain sight, waiting for a trained eye. It takes patience, experience, and a relentless curiosity to see what others might overlook. This journey into forensic science is about how tiny clues become the cornerstones of justice. It's a discipline where science and intuition work hand in hand, transforming fragments into facts. We begin at the scene of a crime, a room frozen in time, a puzzle with scattered pieces. Every object, every stain, every disturbance in the environment could be a vital clue. The forensic investigator's job: find every piece, no matter how small. It's a meticulous process, requiring both sharp observation and methodical technique. We're not just looking for weapons or bloodstains, but for things that don't belong. A fiber on a splintered doorframe, mud on a clean carpet. These anomalies are often the breadcrumbs that lead us to the truth. These threads, when pulled, can unravel an entire case. Each connection made brings us closer to understanding what really happened. The power of forensic evidence lies in its objectivity. A DNA sample tells a story of presence and contact that memory cannot. Unlike human recollection, it is immune to bias or manipulation. That's why careful collection is critical. We're gathering facts, not just objects. Every step, from the scene to the lab, must be precise to preserve the integrity of the evidence. These facts form a narrative that can withstand the scrutiny of a courtroom. They become the foundation upon which justice is built, providing answers when words fail. The process is slow and deliberate because every detail matters. A single oversight can mean the difference between justice served and justice denied. Step behind the yellow tape with me as we explore how silent witnesses are found, protected, and analyzed. This is where science meets the unknown, and where answers begin to emerge. We'll follow their journey from the chaos of a crime scene to the lab, and finally to the courtroom. Each stage is crucial, each transition a test of accuracy and care. Here, science serves the law, and the smallest details can have the largest impact. The fate of a case can hinge on a single fiber, a partial print, or a trace of DNA. In this world, the dead can and do tell tales. Through the careful work of forensic science, their stories are finally heard, and justice can be served. When a crime is reported, the very first step is to secure the scene. This is a critical moment. Officers must act quickly and decisively to ensure that nothing is disturbed or lost. The integrity of the entire investigation depends on what happens in these first few minutes. Think of the crime scene as a fragile bubble. Officers must protect it from contamination by outsiders, the environment, and even themselves. Every action is deliberate, every movement calculated. Establishing a perimeter with yellow tape isn't just about crowd control. It's about preserving every possible clue. The tape marks a boundary, a line that only authorized personnel can cross. Every person who enters risks bringing something in or taking something away. Footprints, fibers, or even a stray hair. That's why access is strictly limited. Investigators follow a methodical plan, walking a specific path to minimize their own impact. They move slowly, scanning for anything out of place, careful not to disturb the scene. They document everything before touching anything. Photographs from every angle, sketches mapping out evidence, and detailed notes. This step is crucial for reconstructing the scene later. This creates a permanent record of the scene as it was found, capturing details that might otherwise be forgotten or overlooked. Collecting evidence is a delicate process. Bloodstains are swabbed with sterile tools, firearms are picked up by the grips to avoid smudging prints, and hairs are lifted with tweezers. Each item is handled with extreme care. Each item is treated as if it could unlock the entire case. Even the smallest trace can be the key to solving the mystery. Investigators wear gloves and protective suits to prevent contamination, ensuring that the evidence remains pure and uncontaminated. Every piece is packaged separately, sealed with tamper-evident tape, and signed across the seal. This step guarantees that the evidence can be trusted in court. This is the first step in a carefully monitored journey, known as the chain of custody, which tracks every hand that touches the evidence. The goal is simple but vital: ensure the item that arrives at the lab is exactly as it was found at the scene, with no chance for tampering or loss. This meticulous process is the foundation of the entire case, providing the solid ground investigators and prosecutors need to build their arguments. Without these careful steps, justice can't begin, and the truth may never come to light. Once evidence is collected and sealed, it enters the chain of custody, a sacred relay race. Each handler is a runner, and every handoff is documented: who had it, when, and why. This isn't just procedure, it's a legal necessity. In court, the prosecution must prove the evidence is the same as collected, untampered, and uncontaminated. The chain of custody is the evidence's official biography. Every transfer, from scene to storage to lab and back, is logged. This meticulous record guarantees authenticity and integrity. Without it, a defense attorney could argue the evidence was switched or contaminated. The chain of custody is the bedrock of accountability. Every person in the chain is a guardian of the truth. Only with an unbroken chain can evidence speak in court. What if a link in the chain of custody breaks? The consequences can be catastrophic. A gap in the evidence's history creates doubt, and in court, doubt is powerful. Defense attorneys scrutinize the log for missing signatures or unexplained lapses. If a bag of evidence is left unattended or a signature is missing, a judge may rule it inadmissible. Famous cases have turned on this issue. Evidence thrown out due to sloppy handling. The burden is on the prosecution to prove the evidence is pristine. A single moment of carelessness can undo months of work. The chain of custody is not just paperwork, it's the shield that protects justice. Once evidence reaches the forensic lab, the silent witnesses are given a voice. The lab is a controlled environment, far from the chaos of the scene. Scientists log in evidence, inspect seals, and assign unique numbers. Chain of custody continues. Evidence is directed to specialized departments: DNA, toxicology, ballistics, fingerprints. Analysts work under strict protocols to prevent cross-contamination, often repeating tests for accuracy. The work is slow and deliberate, focused on producing reliable, objective data. Here, a smudge becomes a fingerprint, a stain becomes a DNA profile. Scientists translate physical objects into scientific facts. Their findings form the foundation of a case. Without their meticulous work, the clues would remain silent forever. Forensic evidence is the backbone of modern investigations, and it falls into three main categories: biological, chemical, and physical. Each type plays a unique role in uncovering the truth behind a crime. Biological evidence, such as blood, saliva, and hair, yields DNA, which acts as a unique genetic fingerprint for every individual. This evidence can survive for years, even decades, if preserved correctly. DNA analysis can link a suspect to a crime scene with powerful certainty, helping to confirm identities or eliminate innocent people from suspicion. Chemical evidence involves identifying unknown substances, like drugs, poisons, or accelerants used in arson. These substances can reveal what happened and sometimes even why. Toxicologists analyze blood and tissue for drugs or toxins, uncovering hidden causes of death and providing crucial clues about the means and motives behind a crime. Physical evidence includes fingerprints, fibers, glass fragments, and ballistics. These tangible traces can be left behind by anyone present at the scene. Fingerprints and ballistics can match a suspect to a weapon or location, providing direct links between people, objects, and events. Even a tiny paint chip, invisible to the naked eye, can be traced to a specific vehicle or object, offering vital leads in an investigation. Each type of evidence provides a different piece of the puzzle, helping investigators reconstruct the sequence of events. Biological evidence places a person at a scene, chemical evidence reveals the method, and physical evidence connects objects and people, weaving together the story of the crime. Often these types work together, each supporting the other, to build a comprehensive and convincing picture of what truly happened. For example, a fingerprint on a glass might contain DNA, and the same glass could be tested for traces of drugs or chemicals, multiplying the evidence from a single item. It's the combination of findings, layered and interconnected, that creates a compelling narrative for investigators and the courts. Together, these pieces of evidence tell the story the crime scene cannot speak aloud. bringing justice one fact at a time. Lab results are only half the battle. Interpretation is key. Forensic scientists translate complex data into meaning for the case. DNA profiles are compared to databases like CODIS. Matches are based on statistical probability. A DNA match might mean odds of 1 in a quintillion, an incredibly strong link. Fingerprints are matched by identifying unique points of similarity. Databases like AFIS and NIBIN help connect evidence across cases and jurisdictions. Interpretation isn't always black and white. Degraded or mixed samples require careful analysis. Scientists must explain both the power and the limits of their findings. Their role is to present facts objectively, not to determine guilt or innocence. This commitment to unbiased interpretation ensures science serves justice. The facts, not speculation, guide the outcome. Only then does evidence become a foundation for truth in court. The final challenge for a forensic scientist is testifying in court. The courtroom is a world of lawyers and juries, not scientists. The scientists must translate complex findings into clear, simple language. Visual aids and analogies help make the science relatable. A DNA match might be compared to finding a single grain of sand on all the world's beaches. The goal: empower the jury to understand and weigh the evidence. On the stand, the scientist is questioned by both sides, highlighting strengths and probing for weaknesses. Their duty is to the truth, not to either side. A clear, credible expert can profoundly impact a trial. By bridging the gap between lab and courtroom, the scientist ensures justice is guided by evidence. The story that began with a tiny clue ends with a verdict grounded in fact. From securing the scene to testifying in court, every step in the forensic process matters. Each link in the chain upholds the justice system. Careful collection, unbroken custody, precise analysis, and clear communication are all vital. A single failure can compromise the entire case. Forensic science supports the human element of justice with facts. New technologies continue to improve our ability to uncover the truth. Ultimately, the journey of forensic evidence is a story of diligence and integrity. The silent witnesses can only speak if we listen with care and commitment to the truth.